Well, students, here we are in week 2 already. Would you believe this? But I want you to know that in week 2, we are going to be covering understanding the role of culture. And that is so important when we're talking about leadership in teams because a cultural team is one of the most important and dynamic components of any culture. So, to understand how culture affects us in all aspects of international management, that is so important because different countries around the globe have different cultures and they operate differently. And we got to be able to maybe not always agree with these cultures, but understand them so we can be productive in our business enterprises. And the thing is, we want to also have the ability to be able to disseminate or differentiate between one social group and another when it comes to different cultures. What are the norms? What are the differences? And we don't want to stereotype and be judgmental based on our own culture. And definitely, we want to understand the interaction between culture and the use of the internet. That is so important because virtually, maybe in most businesses, whether they be domestic or foreign, you're going to use the internet for something. Okay, so it's a way of doing business these days, and there's no way to get around that. And you want to also be able to deploy and develop a working cultural profile, typical of many people that are within a certain society. So before you do business, you want to understand how and what relates to the business that they're in and the paradigm of how they look at business versus how we look at business, which I mentioned earlier. A lot of this will have to do with understanding negotiations when we are talking about business relationships. And we're going to be looking at different management styles around the world. Some are more autocratic than others, some are more democratic than others. We're going to be looking at that as well. And then the second part of the week, we're going to be in chapter 4. We're going to look at how we communicate across cultures. And this will have to be to basically recognize the communication process and how cultural differences really can create a lot of problems in the process. So it's understanding these differences which are absolutely essential. The other thing that I want to mention to you is how important it is to recognize the communication process and how different cultures can cause noise in the process. We want to be able to appreciate different cultural variables that affect communication, and communication is everything as information transpires from the sender to the receiver and back again. And especially across global lines, all of this noise variations, all of these noise variations can cause a lot of dissonance and distraction. So we got to be able to be exactly clear on how the communication process works in the different areas where we're doing business. And be aware of the impact of IT on cross border communications and learn basically how to manage cross culturally in our communication process, internet, in person, and understand the working variables of all the different teams. And that's basically what we're going to be talking about this week. So good luck with it. Every day has a folder in it with something to do, and I look forward to feedback, giving you feedback, and getting feedback from you through your threads and through your assignments. Professor DeChico.